Hi, welcome, 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 welcome back. It's been a while, but I wanted to share something with you about time. And I wanted to share this because I know there are some people out there, you're thinking you wish you could go back in time. You ever felt that way? Like, wow, if I can just go back in time, if I can just go back to that particular day, that day before my child got sick, the day before I got divorced, the day before my mother died, the day before my father died, that day, we sit back many times and we think about, gosh, if I can just go back 5 years, I can just go back 10 years, if I can just go back to last week. And many of you are listening to me, you have a lot of regrets. You have a lot of sadness. You have a lot of depression. So you have a lot of worry. You keep replaying certain days and certain times over and over again in your head and in your mind. And you just keep saying, what if I only made the phone call, if I only just went back, if I only turned around, if I only knocked on the door, right? If I only, put my resignation in before the job fired me, or you whatever that is. I just wanted to share something with you. I just wanted to let you know that God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, loves us. Okay, everything that we don't know, which is a lot, everything that we don't see, He sees, He knows. It doesn't seem right, right? It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem like you know. It just doesn't seem right. Okay. All of these are normal feelings. Many times, I've said to myself, Lord, if I can just have a do over, can I get a do over? Right. Can I get another chance? But we can't. Once the day is gone, the day is gone. I think today is August the 1st. I'm not sure of the time. I think it's 5 o'clock. Once August the 1st, once 5:05 comes p.m., it's over. It's actually 5:01 now. There will never be an August 1st, 2026 5:01 again in life. Once it's over, it's over. Okay. But this is something that I just wanted to share with you um, about just concerning time. If we could go back to a time where we didn't have to hurt before the death, before the divorce, before the trauma, before things went left, we think we would feel so much better. But here's the problem with time, okay? Time rests solely in the hands of God, okay? There is no one, I hear people saying about speaking to time. No one can speak to time. No one can command time. There's no prophet. There's no elder. There's no minister. There's no one who, unless God gives them direction, can stop time. Okay. We hear in the Bible there are two instances that I'm reminded of where time stopped, but it was God who stopped the time. It wasn't the individual. God told the prophet, "You go tell the king this." God stopped the time with Joshua. But God did it. We cannot control time. Okay, time rests solely in the hands of God. Time takes no orders from anyone. Okay, we can pray and ask God for more time. We can ask God. We people talk about what is this? Things happening before time or out of time or all this kind of stuff. Time sits in the hands of God. Okay, and I wanted to share this because I was sitting on the beach and I just wrote these things down, and I felt like I wanted to share with you because I know there's somebody that's gonna this is going to resonate with. The prophets can speak and decree the time. Within the concept of time, there are so many layers. If you think about a ball of string, a ball of yarn, or think about a sweater. If you have like a knitted sweater and there's like a little tear or a little string, right? And you go up to the person and you want to pull the string. They say, no, no, don't pull it because if you pull that string, on my sweater, you could unravel the entire sweater, right? No, no, we can't do it. Leave it here. I'll take care of it later. I have my sweater on. Yeah, there's a little fray, but when I get home, I'll do what I need to do. I don't need you to unravel it, okay? Because if you unravel it, you're going to destroy my sweater, okay? This is why God doesn't allow us to control time. This is why He ultimately controls time. Time, because time is so special. Time is so unique, okay? There are so many layers in time. There are so many layers that intersect, right? So, yes, while you would say, if I could go back to the time when my mother, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my child was still alive, I would go back because you're only thinking about your loved one. You're thinking about that day, that time. You don't understand that if you were able to go back, just like pulling that string on a sweater, if you were able to go back in time and reset the clock, you would be screwing everything up because you don't understand that death what that death put in place, what that death set off. Your loved one, their season came to an end. Their season came to an end, but it opened the door for something else. It opened the door for you. It opened the door for your next step. It opened the door for you to it unlocked something in you if we'll allow it. It will unlock something in you. It wasn't your dad dying, was your dad dying, right? Sat on Once he died, that made room for you to step up. Your dad dying was necessary, okay, for you to step up. Because if your dad did die, you would have never stepped up. If this negative situation didn't happen, you would have never moved. Yes, it's devastating. It hurts, but you would have never become the person you were destined to be. Your loved one had a race to run. My mother, your father, your husband, your daughter, your wife, whatever it is, the how they died, the mannerism of how they died. A lot of times we get stuck on that. I wish I was here. I wish this. I wish that. But all things, God controls all things. Okay. The mannerism is one thing. The mannerism was the mannerism. The how they died was how they died. But their death was already written down. There was already a time and a season. There was already a date and time. There's already an appointment. You have an appointment with death. I have an appointment with death. There was already appointed day and time that this person, your loved one, would take their last breath. Okay. You going back, right, and saying, okay, if I was here, they wouldn't have died. You going back in time screwing everything up because it was meant for them to die at that particular moment. You going back in time, telling yourself, wish I can go back in time. Well, number one, stop beating yourself up because you can't go back in time. I can't go back in time. You know how many times I wish I could go back, right? I can't go back in time. You can't go back in time. But we wish that we could. So again, it's in our mind. We keep telling ourselves, I wish I could, I wish I could. Well, we can't. But if we were able to go back in time, right? We would screw things up. We would mess things up, which is why God controls time. This is why He doesn't allow us to. We can suggest, we can ask, Lord, more time, but He is the ultimate clock. He holds the clock. So let me read some more here. There are so many layers. Like I said, things are interdependent. This happening, negative thing happening, it had to happen in order to open this particular door. When we think about COVID, what happened with during the COVID years, COVID was really bad. I'm not glamorizing COVID, but when you look at COVID, took us, it like moved us. It seemed like 20 years into the future. 1 year of COVID moved us like 20 years into the future. What do I mean? Look at the Chat GPT. Look at me talking to you now on this medium. I remember prior to COVID, we were talking about doing a lot of online therapy, and it was such a big deal about doing online therapy. We were talking about, oh, we were bogged down with the ethics of it. We were bogged down with the confidentiality of it. I mean, we would spend hours, weeks, days, months just going back and forth with that. You know, there were some people within our field said, no, we can't do it. Some people say, yes, we have to do it. Guess what? When COVID happened, immediately we moved forward. So, yes, so that particular time when COVID, if we could go back, would not want COVID to happen again. I would not want COVID to happen, but it moved us so far into the future. Your loved one died, that negative situation happened. No, we didn't want it to happen. But if we will allow God to show us what's next, if we will allow God to show us, okay, your father is not here anymore, he's no longer in the scene. What did he impart in you? What are you supposed to be doing? Okay. What's next? Okay. Lord, my father imparted so much wisdom, so much things into me. My mother imparted so much wisdom. My child gave me so much happiness. He gave me so much joy. He's no longer here. What can I do now? How can I take that time during the time when my daughter was here, for the 14 years that my daughter was here before she was killed, for the 21 years that I had my son with me, for the 90 years that I had my mother with me, for the 75 years you had your father, or you had your sister, or you had your brother. During those years, what can you take from those years that you can take from that time, bring it into now, bottle it, and push it into the future or use it for the now? What can we do? God, we have to ask ourselves, God, what can I do? What did my mother teach me? What did my father teach me? What can I carry with me now? What can I use? Because their time is over. God, if I could go back in time, I would, but I can't, right? We can beat ourselves up. And it's understandable. It happens when you lose a loved one, when something bad happens to you, when you go through a trauma. The yearning, yearning, the yearning is natural. You yearn to go back to that time. You yearn the time when your mother was here, when your father was here, when your daughter was here. You're going to have that. That's natural. You yearn when things were better. I yearn when I wasn't sick. Okay. When I didn't have sickle cell anemia, or wasn't in the car accident. Okay. When I was able to walk. Okay. Before the accident. And now I'm in a wheelchair. We want better times. Nothing wrong with that. But we get to a point where the reality says, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't go back to the day before the accident. I can't go back to the moment before the accident when I was walking around, because now I'm in a wheelchair. I can't go back to when I was able to see before the accident happened. I can't go back. If I could, I would. I can't go back to the time when I was able to hold my daughter, when I was able to play with my son. They're dead. They're no longer here. My mother is no longer here. I can't go back. I can only go back and think about the memories in my mind. They listen to tapes, movies, not movies, but videos that we did, or songs. I can only go back. I only have memories. I can't go back in time. So number one, we can't. It's okay to feel that way, because sometimes you're just gonna feel that way. You're gonna feel how you feel. Nothing wrong with that. We just can't get stuck in that. We have to tell us, okay, all right, let me keep moving forward. Let me keep moving forward. Let me bring their legacy into the now and into the future if I can. Let me do what I can do now. Okay. What did that time, the time that I had my mother, the time that I had my father, the time that my daughter was here, the time I was able to walk without a wheelchair, that time, what did that time teach me? What can I glean from that particular time? What can I do now? Because we can't go back in time. So I wanted to still continue to share some more. Like I said, there are different layers. Okay. God doesn't allow us to mess with the layers, because if you mess with one layer, a layer, like you were able to go back, you going back in time to deal with this one thing will mess this up over here, and we'll mess this up over here. Okay. You can't go back. Um, You're you're connected. The time connects. What that moment in time that you want to go back to before the accident, before the layoff, before the divorce, before the death is connected to now. Okay. It's connected to what's going on now. Okay. And if you disconnect, if you were able to go back in time and disconnect that, then it would throw what's happening off now. Okay. Time, the past, is supposed to push us into the future. Well, prepare us for the now and for the future. Back then, we're supposed to be better as a result of back then because we can look back in time and glean experiences. We can get wisdom. We can get ideas. We can see what worked, what didn't work, right? We can learn from our mistakes. Time back then, the past, is supposed to teach us those things so we can become in the now what God would have us to be. Those wonderful things, those wonderful ideas that God has for you, that has for me, has for your children, things that He wants you to do. We can't do it. It's hard to do it holding on to the past, holding on to that time. Again, we can remember it because we're always going to remember it. And we're always going to have some moments of sadness. Yearning is always going to be there. The thing is, we can't just get stuck. Okay. Um, certain decisions, certain situations that have to happen in your life can't happen until certain things die in your life. Let me say that again. Certain situations, certain experiences, certain um, yeah, certain experiences, certain situations you can't have until certain things die. Okay. You got the divorce, right? He left you, she left you, is over. Okay. That has to die. That yearning, okay, I want to go back. You can't go back. Let that thought die. Okay. Because that thought has to die because as soon as you can let that die, then now and grieve the process, okay, you can begin to think about your next. And your next could be in another city. If you're able to let go of that happened then, move on. Who knows what God has for you in the next city? In the next city, you may have a better husband, a better wife. You may have a better job. In the next city, you may get a new idea, or the next job may be that job you've been waiting for. Your mother, your spouse has died. Okay, you don't know what's going to come out of that idea. I mean, what idea you're going to get out of that? Out of that, your grief, out of that particular time, what you learn by being a wife, what you learn by being a husband, what you learn by being a parent, what you learn by being a daughter or a son from your parent who is no longer here, from your child who is dead and who is no longer here. You don't know how helpful that will be in the now to someone else who's struggling and who need that information. That wisdom, that information, that goodness, all that happiness that you had doesn't have to die. It just repackages itself if you will allow it. Okay. Um, you certain things have to die. Okay. You didn't get into the college that you thought you were going to get into. Grieve it, let it die, bury it, put it to death. Every now and then you think about it, but move forward. What did what did you learn? Now that it's dead, what did you learn? Okay. When we look at Abraham and Lot, for those of you who read the Bible, we understand Abraham could not move forward until his father died. Okay. Once his father died, God actually spoke to him while he was still with his dad. I know I mentioned a lot, but I moved on from that. He had spoke to him while he was in his father's city. But he couldn't, Abraham couldn't be blessed. He had to move on. He had to let, you know, whatever idea or whatever he thought he was going to do with his father, he had to let that die and move on so he can become the father of faith. What do you have to think about? What do you have to let go? What do you have to move on from? What do you have to realize that you can't go back? You can't go back in time. Once you realize that you can't go back in time and realize that I'm so grateful to God that you gave me my father, you gave me my mother, that you gave me the child that for as long as you had, that you gave me this particular job, that whatever it is, whatever you're grieving, God, I thank you for what you've given me. I miss them. It hurts. If I could go back in time, I would. I don't care what this lady is saying. Okay. Um, but I know you control time. I can't go back. What would you have me to do? What can I do? What can I learn from this? What can I give to others? How can because I can't just die. I can't because it's not my time to die. It's not your time to die. If you're still here listening to me, you can't die in your depression. You know why? Because it's not your time to die in your depression. Get rid of those thoughts of suicide. No, you cannot die. If you're listening to me, you cannot die. God has something more for you. I don't care. You may say you don't know the trauma I've been through, the sexual abuse, the complex trauma, the my mother died, my father died, I lost 3 people. I had 8 people who died in my life. I lost my job, my dog ran away. I'm broke. I'm living in my car. I'm over it. You cannot die. It is not your time. Your time is now. What you're going to do, you're going to come up, ask the God for a strategy. Lord, with all of these things I've been through and I'm going through and my feelings, what is the strategy? What do you have for me now? Okay. I have this car. I don't have a house. I'm in a car. Lord, what can I do? How can I use this car to get back on my feet? I'm sleeping in a cardboard box. Lord, can I do? How can I use this cardboard box to do this? God, I'm listening to this lady on the phone. So how can I use this phone to get back on my feet? You can't die because your time is now. You have There's so much stuff that has been invested in you. Your loved one is counting on you. Your child who you lost, that bad marriage. Okay, you definitely got to move on. You can't let that bad marriage be the only thing that speaks over your life. You can't be, die and then the only thing we know you for, oh yes, she was married to that deadbeat, or we say, yeah, child, he was married to that woman and she was terrible. Mm-mm-mm. I'm so glad he died. He got out of that. No, that can't be your only testimony. That can't be your eulogy. Okay. Your eulogy has to be, yeah, I was in a bad marriage. Things went left, but thank God I moved on and I'm in a better position. You can't die. Time, God controls time. And if you are still in time, listening to me, you are still in time because God has something for you to do. It was something that you needed to learn. It was something that your mother, your father, your child who you lost that wanted you to share with the world. There's something that they're telling you. If you're one of these people saying, wow, I wish I could hear my loved one voice. I wish my child could come back and tell me something, say something, right? I don't know if that will ever happen, but I'm telling you this today that your child's living was not in vain. It was their time. I don't know why. We don't know why cancer. We don't know why the drive-by. We don't know why the accident. We don't know why. We don't know why. We do know that they are no longer here. They are dead. They are not coming back. Okay, these going to see Ouija board. That's not your loved one. That's a fake spirit. That's a fake idea that's taking advantage of your grief. That's not your loved one. I don't care what they say, what they tell you. Once you're dead, you're dead. That time is past. Your job now is to ask yourself in the middle of your grief, in the middle of your broken heart, I was saying to God, I said, gosh, I'm looking around. So many of us are dealing with a hole in our heart, right? Where our loved one once was. We have to realize that their time, they lived their life. Their time, whatever time it was, whether it was 1 week, 5 months, 6 years, 60 years, 70, 80, 90, it doesn't matter the mode, the reason why they died, their time there is no more. We cannot go back in time. We cannot go back to that day, to that hour. There are things that we wish we could have said, we can't say because they can't. You can say it. Yeah, I would encourage you to say it. It's helpful. It's helpful to do that. But we can't go back. We can't turn back the clock because only God controls the clock. And the reason why, because that time is over, their time is over, your time is now. So in the middle of your depression, put your depression on your sadness on a timer. Okay, I'm gonna be depressed. I'm gonna be sad this amount of time. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna cry. But I'm in the midst of crying. I'm gonna take my shower. In the midst of crying and thinking about my loved one, I'm going to put on some clothes. Even if I have to go back to bed, I'm gonna put on some clothes. Day one, day two, day three, each day I'm going to get stronger. You're going to get stronger. Each week, each month, each year, you're going to get stronger. You're going to begin to realize why that your time is valuable, that God has a purpose for you being here, and you're going to discover what that is. Yes, there are going to be moments when you're going to grieve. It's going to come from out of nowhere. Depression, sadness is going to come from out of nowhere, and you're going to wish you're going to go back in time, but you're going to keep telling yourself, "I can't go back. If I could, I would, but I can't." God controls time because my time is now. Their time is finished. Your time is now. You have to tell yourself, okay, the fact that my father, my mother is no longer here, I have to step up. My daughter, my son is no longer here. I have to step up. I have to I have to keep going. But what am I doing? What did I learn from them while they were here that I can bring into the now and into the to the future? Remember, their death and your life is connected. Their death and your life is connected. Will always be connected. Now that they're dead, you have to understand what is the meaning of my life. I have to step up now. If your loved one was really a prayer was important, then you might need to look at prayer. If they love to sew, you might start taking up sewing classes, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be anything like that. It could be just something, just how you carry yourself, right? It could just be how you love other people, the things you do. Just remember, we cannot control time. Certain things can't happen until time is fulfilled. Certain things can't happen until something else happens. Okay. An example of that. Okay. We could not be able to get, what is this? For me to talk to you via the internet until the internet was discovered. So certain things. So it's like steps, right? We go higher and higher. Each revelation or each what am I gonna call it? Invention, okay, moves us closer to the next invention. Okay, we have some of you may not remember, but a long time ago we had AOL where you had to do the dial-up modem, and you can hear it. Whenever you dial on, it would make that noise. Well, it took that in order to get us to the internet that where we log on by a box. Okay, so then we went from the AOL dial-up to the box to now we're doing it through Wi-Fi. Okay, each step took us further, and it's like that in your life, right? It took you getting fired from your good job for you to understand how valuable you are and for you to see that there are other things that you could be doing. It took your father dying for you to realize how much your dad loved you and how much he invested in you and how much he's counting on you to carry on the legacy, right? Your father used to give free haircuts. He used to, do a lot of stuff in the community. You never thought about your father. You never thought about the impact that he had on not just you, but on the other people in the community. Now that he's dead, is on you now. It's your moment. His life was preparing you for you to walk now in the legacy that he left behind. Okay. So again, it takes different sometimes their life is connected to you. Their death is connected to you. When a mother gives birth to a child, she gives life to that child. As long as that child is living, okay, even though the mother may die, that child still has life, and that life keeps going. Okay, the life doesn't die because the mother dies, even though you may feel like it, but your life keeps going. Once your mother gives you life, your life will continue. Your life will keep moving forward. Time will continue for you, and you have to keep going. You may not feel like it. You may need to take a break. Take your break, but keep going. You may have to take a sleep all day today. Sleep all day today if you need to, but tomorrow you need to do a little more at a time. And it's a process. It takes time. But remember, yes, if we could go back in time, we could, but we can't. God does not allow us to mess with time. Okay. Um, the time before the death, time before the divorce, time before the trauma happened. You can't go back. We are not allowed to go back in time. We have to begin to ask God to help me to deal with what happened, give me the strength to learn to handle it, and give me the strength to keep going. So I just wanted to share something with you, just to remember your time now is connected to their death. Now that they're dead. Now that that situation has died, whether it's a death of a loved one or a situation, now that it's finished, you can't go back. But what can you learn from it? What can you do? The job, you lost the job. You went bankrupt. It's over. You can't go back. Your wife took all your money. You tried taking her to court. You can't find her. There's nothing you can do. It's over. All right? It's done. What's next for you? What's next for you in the time that you can control, the time that you can manage? Well, you can't ever control time, but the time that you have now, what can you do? So again, it's getting better all the time. Mental health outreach. Just wanted to share that with you, providing information and support while encouraging hope. My prayer is that you make peace with time, that you can't control time, that you can't go back. My prayer in Jesus' name for you is that you're able to find meaning in your present time, because there is meaning. God, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be breathing if there was not meaning, if God didn't have a purpose for your life. Well, I don't believe in God. He believes in you. So God bless. Have a great day.